Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name is Josh Hall. This is the Hardline Transport Solutions Outlaw Truck Series here with the Original Rebels Racing League. Getting ready to kick off their round of 8 here at Homestead, Miami. The NASCAR season might have ended today, but we still have a few races left here in the Original Rebels Racing League. Starting with our doubleheader here tonight. We'll be taking on Homestead, Miami for 100 laps. Next week we move on to Kansas, then to Richmond. Take a week off due to the Thanksgiving holiday. Then we'll round out the season here on December 4th at Atlanta. Currently, Corey Hines is the fastest car on the track. See Jonah Colbert currently sitting second quickest. We got about 3.5 minutes left here in practice before we get qualifying underway and we get ready to race here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Take a look at our points coming into tonight. See, Corey Hines, everything's been reset. Corey Hines has those 4 bonus points. Puts him at the top. Then Mike Kosick back in second. Andy Kurtz, Jonathan Cofield, Matt Telder, Fry Hubbard, Corey Bigley, and Brandon Pollock round out the round of 8. And it's win and you're in. We'll see if one of these drivers can win here tonight to move themselves into the championship 4. Take a look at the back of the pack championship. Brett Bieber currently leads that over Gary Wright, Travis Bieber, Ryan Derrick, Ryan Huff, Kai Shappett, and Butch Taylor. So a little secondary championship to keep participation up. As you see, about 2 minutes left here in practice before we get underway with qualifying. 100 laps around this fantastic Miami Speedway. Very racy track. A lot of different lines you can run. We used to host the final race of the season in the NASCAR series. Opened in 1996. It was reconfigured from what it was almost like a mini Indianapolis with 4 corners, distinct corners. Now it's this oval that we see today. Just over 1.5 miles. Banking of 6 degrees. Should say that's 6 degrees progressively. Nope, that's the old track. I take that back. So from 97 to 2002, it was almost rectangular shaped with 6 degrees of banking. Then in 97, they reconfigured the track. I'm sorry, in 2003, they reconfigured the track to make it 16 to 20 degrees of banking, 3 degrees on the straightaways. And that's what lends to this track being so racy. We'll see drivers right up against the wall. We'll see drivers down on that white line. As you come off of turn number 2, there's a really big bump that can really upset the trucks. So we'll watch that tonight because that could be a troublesome problem for some of these drivers here tonight. See if we have anybody ripping up that high side right now. We see Andy Kurtz kind of diamond in the corner, driving in real deep. Getting down to the apex and coming off the corner, trying to keep up as much speed as he can. Matt Kleeman, he's up there, up at the wall, riding the rim. As time expires here in practice and we get ready for qualifying. Of course, we want to thank everybody who's watching here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch. We do appreciate you joining us here tonight. Don't forget to check out our great partners down in the links below. Of course, there's a link to raceepi.com where you can find for all your setups, and coaching here on iRacing. Of course, our website at intensitybroadcasting.com or intensityracing.com, where you can find hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, not just of Intensity, but of also some of our novelty t-shirts and Atlee Ant-Man Weese's merchandise. So you can check that out over at intensityracing.com. Of course, we want to thank our great partner, the Butt Kicker. You know, Butt Kicker is an established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel ultra-low frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. The patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is a new and upgraded sim racing haptic that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. To figure out which product is right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. And as I've mentioned, they do have much more than just gaming haptics. You can find subwoofers and whatnot that you can actually attach to your, put in your couch or around your couch for being able to feel music and movies. So you can check all that out at thebuttkicker.com. Andy Kurt's currently up at the top of the board as we watch Steve McDonald make his way off of turn number 4. McDonald's going to take the white flag on his run here. Right down on the apron through turns 1 and 2 and off of turn number 2. And you'll notice just how bumpy this backstretch is. We'll see that all night long. Drivers struggling with the bumps, especially as the tires start to wear out and the sun starts to set. And Steve McDonald's going to go up to the top of the board. See Corey Hines coming down the backstretch. You hear Corey shifting. That's an interesting strategy. We'll have to see how that plays out here tonight. As he's going to run right up on that high side. And down the front stretch, come across the line, and Corey Hines is going to go. Well, it doesn't look like he's going to set a time at all. I don't know if he maybe caught the wall a little bit on his qualifying attempt. But he did not set a time. See Greg Froelich out on the track, and that's the other thing. This track temperature will be dropping quickly as the sun goes down. We'll take a look at the weather while Froenich's out on the track. You see the time, just 5 minutes of 8 o'clock. 13 miles an hour. Gusts. Air temperature 81, track temperature 89. So as the race goes on, sorry, track temperature is 83. That's 59% humidity. So as the race goes on, the track will cool off, get grippier. As we saw Greg Froelich go P11, Fry Hubbard comes across the line. He'll go P6. So as the race goes on, the track will get grippier, and we'll see these drivers being able to race more. We'll also see drivers migrating around the track a little bit more. Some drivers might be going up to the high side, down to the low side. Oh, we see Calvin Ruff get up into the wall. So that's going to disallow his qualifying attempt. Quite a few drivers still to qualify, though. Matt Kleeman, Brandon Wallace, Gary Wright, Matt Knights, Jerry LaGrange, Tyler Weeks, all left to qualify. And when you're right there up against the wall like that, that is the price you can pay. Being that close to the wall can definitely cause your truck to get up into it. We'll see what Calvin comes across the line this time, what lap time he gets. Oh, catches the wall there. He's going to move up into the 12th position as we see who else is left to qualify. Again, we want to thank all of our great partners that make this league possible. Of course, Hardline Transport Solution, our series sponsor. Kinder Farm and Ranch, Cofield Asphalt Refinishing. I'm on the wrong sponsor read. That's not going to help me. Hardline Transport Solution, Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Peg Leg Felts, Thunderstruck Super Series, and of course, Kinder Farm and Ranch, all doing their part to make this league possible and have these guys be able to run in week in and week out and bring the race to you here on Intensity Broadcasting. So we got about 4 minutes left here in qualifying. Let's take a look at the points again while we have a moment. Of course, our top 8 in the points right now, Corey Hines and Mike Kosick. The only ones with bonus points, Corey with 4, Mike with 2. Andy Kurtz sits back in 3rd. Jonathan Cofield, Matt Telder, Fry Hubbard, Corey Bigley, and Brandon Pollock all tied with 3,000 points. As the points did reset, and don't forget, if you win, you are in for next week. That's why we don't see any drivers highlighted in yellow this week, as the points have reset and we get ready to see who's going to move themselves on to the round of 4. Of course, we have our back of the pack championship as well. Brett Bieber currently leading that over Gary Wright by 1 point. And then Travis Bieber way back in almost 100 points behind Ryan Derrick, Ryan Huff, Kai Shappett, Butch Taylor. So another little championship for these guys to run for. It also is going to show, they're also keeping track of who has the least amount of incidents during the playoffs here. So as you can see, Logan Monteith, Aaron Sire, James Searfoss did not run any races yet in the playoffs. And with about 2.5 minutes left, we still have quite a few drivers out there left to qualify. Don't forget to join us after this one immediately following at 10 p.m. Eastern as the whole Heating and Sheet Metal Original Rebels Racing League Rebels Sunday Night Truck Series takes on this track here at Homestead, Miami for 100 laps for their first race of the round of 8. Then more playoffs take on Tuesday. The Doghouse Racing League isn't in their playoffs just yet, but next week they will be taking on Darlington Speedway on Tuesday night. So you're not going to want to miss that one. They're just halfway through their season right now before they start their playoffs. But Darlington this week, followed by the SCSRA Truck Series. They're currently in their playoffs as well. And this week, they'll be moving on to Kansas in their first round of the round of 8. So lots of happening here on Intensity Broadcast. Of course, Wednesday night, the Xfinity Series will be moving on to their round of 8 as well. We'll be moving on to Charlotte on Wednesday night. Then the Thunderstruck Series on Thursday. Grand National Series on Friday. We've got trucks out on track. Brandon Wallace has taken the green flag with about a minute left. He's got his first coming to the white flag here on his first of 2 laps. It's going to put him up into the 13th position on his first lap as he comes down into turns 3 and 4. Really loose off of turn number 4, but comes across the line in the 6th position. And that's going to do it here for qualifying here tonight. As we get ready to look at our starting grid, as always, our starting grid is brought to you by Peg Leg Felts, the pole award. And your pole winner will be Corey Hines, with Steve McDonald starting to his outside in row 1. Row 2 will be Mike Kosick and Andy Kurtz, followed by Corey Bigley and Brandon Wallace back in row number 3. Fry Hubbard, he'll roll off from the 7th position with Matt Telder in 8th, followed by Travis Bieber and Jonathan Cofield rounding out your top 10. 11th will be Mike Bertoso with Greg Froelich in 12th. Kevin Ruff puts the 24 machine in 13th, with Brandon Pollock to his outside in 14th. Jonah Colbert rolls off from the 15th position. 16th will be Tyler Weeks. Jerry LeGrand in the 17th position with Matt Kleeman rounding out row number 9. And in your final row, row 10, will be Matt Knights and Gary Wright. As the field makes their way off of pit road, and we get ready to do battle for 100 laps here at Homestead, Miami. Of course, I want to thank everybody for joining us here again tonight. We see you watching on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. Let us know who you're pulling for here tonight. Who you think is going to lock themselves into the championship for here tonight. All right, if you're just joining us for the first time this week, your eyes do not deceive you. We are indeed broadcasting in HD now, so want to give you the best quality racing that we can here on iRacing, on Intensity Broadcasting. So let us know how the stream looks on your end here tonight. But we're getting ready to go racing. Pace truck. You're ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. And Corey Hines is going to lead him down to the green flag, which is in the air. And we are racing here in the round of 8. Corey Hines, Steve McDonald side by side down into turn number 1. Hines not really able to get too much of a jump, but now as they go through turns 1 and 2, Mike Kosick's going to get around Steve McDonald as well as they fight off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch for the first time. Kosick, McDonald side by side as Corey Hines starts to pull away just a little bit. See Andy Kurtz right there behind as well. And Kosick's going to lock himself up into second place here as he chases down Corey Hines. And we complete our first lap here at Homestead, Miami. Of course, don't forget your playoff drivers will be highlighted in light blue up at the top on the ticker as we transition from day to night. Fortunately, right now you see the sun pretty much set behind the grandstands. These drivers aren't going to have to worry about that sun glare. As Andy Kurtz works up to the high side of Steve McDonald. And Kurtz is going to move himself up into the 3rd position as he's going to use that high lane to try to get around Steve McDonald. So 4 out of your top 5 playoff drivers. Steve McDonald trying to play spoiler here tonight. As Mike Kosick is under attack from Andy Kurtz up on the high side. Kurtz up on the high side, Kosick on the low side. As they continue to do battle side by side, it's going to allow Corey Hines to pull away as Kosick's going to tuck back in line. Knows it's too early to beat off those tires and worry about burning up your stuff too quickly. There's a lot of racing left to go. As Calvin Ruff comes to the back bumper of Matt Telder trying to take over the 8th position. And we see Corey Bigley and Jonathan Cofield side by side. This is a battle for the 5th position. Bigley up on the high side, trying to use that momentum, but here comes Cofield diving back down to the bottom. Fry Hubbard right behind as well, watching this battle in front. And now Matt Telder trying to move around Fry Hubbard to try to take over the 7th position. So a couple battles right here all over the track. As we look from overhead, as you see Jonathan Cofield able to clear Big Lee. Now Big Lee's going to try to cross him over here down into turns 3 and 4. Great shot from the iRacing blimp. Really shows the different lines that these drivers are trying to run here, how unique each driver can run, as we saw Telder get a little loose there. That's going to allow Fry Hubbard and Calvin Ruff to get on by. And Travis Bieber trying to make his way up into the mix here as well. Big Lee trying to make another move down to the inside of Cofield, but just not close enough to make that move happen. And while everything's been going on, Andy Kurtz has taken the lead away from Corey Hines. But Corey trying to cross him over here to retake that lead as they go down into turn number 1. So battles all over the track as we are on lap 8 of 100. As these two go side by side down the backstretch, and Andy Kurtz is going to take over the lead. Let's take a look at the move that put Kurtz out in front. Just a little draft down into turn number 3. Drives it in hard and able to clear that 57. So we saw the 57 try to fight back, but we know Andy Kurtz now out in the lead, using that high line right up against the wall. Corey Hines right there. So Kurtz using the wall through turns 1 and 2, running the mid lane through turns 3 and 4. And even though the track is symmetrical, they do drive completely different. As we'll ride along here with Kurtz, we'll see if he gets right up against that wall again. Just how close he is getting to that wall. Battle back here. Calvin Ruff up on the high side. Matt Telder down on the low side. As Ruff catches the wall, just it looked like he got the wall just a little bit. That allowed Telder to get by, and here comes the 114. Travis Bieber trying to take over that 9th position. Brandon Wallace right there in the mix as well, as Calvin Ruff runs real tight onto Brett Bieber there. And we got a battle back for the lead as Andy Kurtz and Corey Hines are going at it yet again. This time Corey Hines is going to use that low lane. Looks like he's going to clear Andy Kurtz up off of turn number 2. Throwing a little bit of a slide job. And Jonathan Cofield right here in the mix as well. As Andy Kurtz trying to fight back on the high side. Great battle for the lead here tonight. As I mentioned, this track was going to be very racy here tonight, and we're seeing exactly that. Now Kosick trying to get around Andy Kurtz in that 2nd position. So Mike Kosick locks himself up into that second position. Jonathan Cofield working down to the inside of Andy Kurtz, trying to take over that third position. A couple big movers through the race already. Jonathan Cofield, one of those, up 6 positions. Another driver already up 6 positions is the 19 of Matt Kleeman in 12th. Jonah Cobert in 11th, up 4 spots. He's trying to make his way through the field as well. Side by side down into turn number 3, Cofield. Trying to take over that third spot. Looks like Cofield is going to clear. No, Kurtz is going to fire back up on that high side. So he's still fighting for that third spot. And right behind Steve McDonald, that's Cofield's going to tuck back in line. Calvin Ruff taking a look down to the inside of Fry Hubbard. This is a battle for the 8th position. And Jonah Cobert right there in the mix as well. Nothing better than listening to these trucks at full song. Let's do a little bit of the pump up the intensity. Nothing better than listening to those trucks make their way around this track full song. As we see the 60F Steve McDonald trying to work his way around Andy Kurtz. So Kurtz, who was leading not too long ago, now finds himself in the 4th position and in danger of falling back to 5th. Brandon Pollock was just... And Brandon Wallace, who was just up front just a few minutes ago, he's fallen back to the 13th position along with Fry Hubbard. So a couple drivers falling backwards pretty quickly. Corey Bigley is making his way around the outside of Steve McDonald to move himself up into the 5th position. Bigley, another one of our playoff drivers here tonight. And how about this little battle back here between Tyler Weeks and Brandon Pollock. Pollock is one of our playoff drivers. He's currently back in the 15th position, not having the run that he was hoping to here tonight. As he makes his way around Weeks and moves himself up into 14th. That's another point towards the championship 4, and you never know. Every point matters. Some of these drivers might have a bad night next week, and it could put him in a chance to lock himself into the final 4. We see Jonah Colbert back here in the 9th position, trying to find his way around Calvin Ruff. We are making our way to lap number 25 to put us a quarter of the way through the race. Which means we're getting pretty close to green flag pit stops as Calvin Ruff takes a look down to the inside of playoff driver Matt Telder. See just how much these trucks move around down the backstretch. So a three-way battle here for 7th, 8th, and 9th as Jonah Colbert's going to take a look down to the inside of Matt Telder. And Jonah Colbert's going to take over that position. So move Jonah up into the 8th position and Telder slide him back in the 9th. As Travis Bieber coming down into the mix here. And here comes Telder back down to the inside of Jonah. He wants that position back. As they come through turns 3 and 4. See those shadows next to the trucks telling us that the lights are shining brighter as the sun is going down. See that orange Florida sky telling us that the track is starting to cool off. Speeds are starting to come up and the racing is about to get racier as you see Travis Bieber down to the inside of Telder as they come off of turn number 4. And right behind the 19, I'm sorry, that's the 43 of Mike Bertosa, who is a couple laps down. You see Jonah Colbert now running down the 24 of Calvin Ruff. Andy Kurtz now under attack from Corey Bigley. Kurtz trying to hold on to that 4th position as Bigley was trying to make his way around down on the low side. Kurtz taking that arrow off the nose of that truck just a little bit, trying to keep him behind. And we are just a few laps away from what's going to be green flag pit stops. We're watching to see who our first driver will be to make their way down on the pit road, because once one driver comes down, everybody's going to start coming down because the speed difference that they're going to see with those new tires. But this battle right here continuing for 4th and 5th between Kurtz and Bigley. As Bigley's going to finally clear the 5 of Andy Kurtz and move himself solidly up into the 4th position. Let's take a look through the field to see where our playoff drivers are running. So up front, we see Corey Hines. He's got a 1 second lead over second place Mike Kosick. Kosick having a great run, up 1 spot up into the 2nd position. And we'll find Jonathan Cofield back in 3rd. Cofield up 7 spots from where he started and actually running down the 3 of Mike Kosick right now. So watch for him tonight to be fast here at the end. Corey Bigley runs back in the 4th position. Up 1 spot, having a solid day. Andy Kurtz down 1 spot into the 5th position. So your top 5 drivers, all playoff drivers. Your next playoff driver is going to be running back in the 10th position. That is a 7 of Matt Telder, down 2 positions from where he started. Really struggling with this truck right now as he runs back in the 10th position. And we'll find Fry Hubbard. Fry back in the 13th position, down 6 spots from where he started. Hoping to make a pit stop here and get himself back in contention. Maybe a yellow flag will catch him back up and give him another chance for it. And then finally, back in the 15th position is the 1 of Brandon Pollock. Currently our lowest running playoff driver back in the 15th position. As we have pit stops starting, Jerry LaGrange down on pit road. Steve McDonald making his way down onto pit road. Of course, McDonald, not a playoff driver, but trying to get himself a win here tonight. I think once the first playoff driver makes their way down onto pit road, we should see all the playoff drivers making their way down onto pit road. Fry Hubbard and Brandon Wallace going at it side by side. As Hubbard's going to move himself now up into the 11th position. As Calvin Ruff is actually pulling away a little bit from Jonah Colbert. We see Mike Bertosa up on the high side as Mike Bertosa hits the wall. That's going to slow down his momentum. But he was starting to move around these drivers on his newer tires as he was on pit road on lap number 15. Matt Kleeman running down Matt Telder. Kleeman trying to take that position away, take over that 9th position. And kind of surprised not to see, we haven't seen more drivers make their way down onto pit road yet, as the speed difference right now is tremendous. Steve McDonald just ran a 34.7, where our leaders are running 35.5s. Telder now starting to pull away from Kleeman just a little bit as the field's really starting to get spread out. So you zoom out here from the iRacing blimp and you can see just how spread out this track. These drivers are starting to get around this 1.5 mile track, where Corey Hines has a 2-second lead over Mike Kosick, who's 2 seconds ahead of Jonathan Cofield. Cofield has Corey Bigley within a second of him. As Matt Kleeman continues to try to run down Matt Telder. Sun now has completely set here at Homestead, Miami, and that is allowing the track to really cool off and grip up. That's why the times haven't fallen off quite as much as they would if it was a sunny day. We've seen about almost 2 seconds of drop off here for our leaders. Corey Hines continues to lead as we're coming to lap 44 out of 100. Now Kleeman now looking down to the low side. Telder up on the high side. Kleeman thought he was going to have a run here trying to get down to the inside of Telder to take over that 9th position, but just not able to make that move just yet. Kleeman had the opportunity, got to Telder, but just was not able to do anything. Now he's falling back just a little bit. And we see Steve McDonald on those fresh tires going around Jonathan Cofield. So that is not for position, but that gives you a good idea of just how much better those new tires are, as McDonald's able to get on the gas so much quicker. This battle still going on as Kleeman now down to the inside to take away that 9th position, but is he going to be able to hold on to it? Great battle side by side as they go down into turns 3 and 4. Oh, Telder almost gets up into the wall. That's going to allow Kleeman to come by. And here comes Telder now down onto pit road. So our first of the playoff drivers to make their way to pit road, just shy of halfway, which tells me these drivers will not be able to make it all the way on fuel. Or at least Telder won't be able to make it all the way on fuel, as Matt Knight's also down on pit road. Corey Hines comes off of turn 4. Matt Kosick going to stay out as well. Cofield stays out. Bigley going to stay out. Andy Kurtz passing pit road. Jonah Colbert still battling back here with Calvin Ruff. As McDonald's trying to get his lap back the hard way. Looking down underneath Corey Hines as Andy Kurtz makes his way down onto pit road. Calvin Ruff, Mike Kosick also down on pit road. Oh, we see a little bit of damage to the 3 of Mike Kosick. He's got quite a bit of damage on the front end of that truck. Let's see if he comes down here and takes his reset. Not too sure what happened to Kosick there. Yeah, he gets a fresh truck, and I don't know if something happened when he was making his way down onto pit road or what happened there. Just saw it on the replay here. Back on lap 50, Mike Kosick had an issue here. Looked like he was trying to make his way down on the pit road and wrecked it coming on to pit road. Stayed well down. Oh, he backed it up and came down. So as he was coming down onto pit road, he lost it and lost a ton of time. Now he's got that truck fixed up as Jonah Colbert takes over the lead as Jonathan Cofield, Travis Bieber's on pit road. Corey Bigley comes off pit road. Matt Kleeman, Fry Hubbard, Greg Froelich. And Corey Hines has been on and off pit road. So all these drivers pitting after lap 50. So the only drivers who I don't think are going to be able to make it to the end as Jonah Colbert makes his way down onto pit road are Matt Telder, Matt Knights, and Steve McDonald came in on lap 35, so he's trying to make it a 2-stop race. As McDonald is currently up in the lead ahead of Corey Hines by 5 seconds, but Hines on those fresh tires, much fresher tires, is quickly running down Steve McDonald. Jonah Colbert down and away. Looks like he's going to come, when everything cycles around, he's going to be in the 5th position. Oh, here comes Matt Telder by as well. That's going to put Colbert back in the 6th, but a lot of race left. Just past halfway. And Jonah Colbert, who gained 9 positions in the first 50 laps. We'll see what he's able to do here in the second 50. Especially if he was to get a caution to tighten up the field. That could really change everything. See Travis Bieber getting around Greg Froelich. Right there, Mike Kosick back in 8th after having those issues getting on the pit road. See if he's able to rebound and get himself back up towards the front. As Andy Kurtz has Calvin Ruff currently running him down. So Ruff trying to take over that third position from Andy Kurtz as he's right there on the back bumper. Ruff gonna slide up into the top three. Jonathan Cofield running down Jonah Colbert. It's a battle for fifth place. Matt Telder right behind as well. So as this battle heats up, Cofield trying to get around Colbert to get an extra point here for the playoffs. It's Colbert, who was really fast in the first half of the race, really struggling here as the lights come on and the sun goes down. Here comes Cofield. Take a look down to the inside. As the battle for the lead, as Corey Hines on those fresh tires has run down Steve McDonald. So move Hines up into the lead. Then Calvin Ruff, who runs back in third, is 8 seconds behind Corey Hines and Steve McDonald here. So a lot of racing left. We know McDonald's going to have to come down pit road one more time. So is it Matt Telder and Matt Knights. So that's going to shake up the playoffs just a little bit, with Telder having to pit one last time unless the caution comes out. That's kind of what Telder's hoping for, along with Steve McDonald. The caution came out around lap 70. That put everybody on even playing grounds, as everybody would be able to come down pit road and get fresh tires. Now Jonah Colbert and Jonathan Cofield running down Andy Kurtz here. So Kurtz struggling in this later part of the race. Currently running back in the fourth position, but has Jonah Colbert looking down to the inside and Jonathan Cofield trying to follow right along. So slide Kurtz back into the sixth position. Battle going on back here. We've got a, contact made. Kosick into the inside wall. Bieber as well. And that is going to end Kosick's night as he resets. No caution. Take another look here to see what happened. Kosick was taking a look down underneath Matt Telder. Bieber didn't know that he was down there. Kosick makes hard impact with the inside wall. Travis Bieber able to get rolling again. Not a lot of damage to the 114, but that is going to shake things up here in the playoffs as Mike Kosick has now retired from the race. Garrett Kinder says Kosick already burned that fast repair too. Yeah, unfortunately, when he had that incident on pit road, he used his fast repair as he really nosed hard down into the inside wall. Now Stephen McDonald now down on pit road. That's going to give second place to Jonah Colbert. Jonah, though, 9.5 seconds behind our leader, Corey Hines, who is just dominating and running away with it as we see him putting a lap down on Matt Knights. So that's going to put, when he comes around pit road here, that's going to put just 10 cars on the lead lap here at Homestead, Miami. Corey Bigley running up on the back bumper of Matt Telder. Bigley trying to take over that 6th position. And we know Telder either has to save fuel or pit one more time. He was the only lead lap driver to come down before halfway. Came down on lap 47. All of our playoff contenders waited till at least lap 50. So we'll see if Telder has enough in the tank to make it to the end. Bigley takes another look down to the inside on Telder as they come down into turns 3 and 4. Ooh, Bigley almost washes up into Telder. Bigley able to get back to the throttle just a little bit quicker than Telder due to those newer tires. And when I say newer, I only mean about 5 laps newer. But it makes all the difference as Bigley now moves himself solidly up into the 6th position, sliding Telder back in the 7th. Big news of the race, though, of course, is what we just saw with Mike Kosick now out of the race. Oh, he was coming into the race 2nd place in points, 2 points behind our leader, Corey Hines. Of course, points were reset, so Corey with 3,004. We'll take a quick gander back at those points here. As you see, Corey Hines, 3,004. Mike Kosick, 3,002. Everybody else with 3,000. Kinder asked what's Fallout looking like at the end of a run, about a second and a half. About that. Earlier in the race, it was a little bit more than that because the sun was still up. Now that the sun's set, fall off hasn't been quite as much. I'm going to say about a second now. As Corey Hines' best lap was a 33.62. His last lap was a 34.50. So just about a second a lap now. As we're coming to 25 laps to go. Andy Kurtz starting to run back down the 4th place driver, Kevin Ruff. Andy trying to do everything he can to get as many points as he can here to try to move himself into the championship 4. Andy Kurtz, a previous Outlaw champion. See Tyler Weeks trying to work around the 68 of Steve McDonald, but McDonald is just on pit road. I take that back. So he is making his way through the field. As he's got the freshest tires out on the track right now. Andy Kurtz continues to rip that wall through turns 1 and 2. Turns 3 and 4, he likes to run that mid lane. That's where he's making up all his time right now. As we see him running down Calvin Ruff in front as he goes right back up to that wall through turns 1 and 2. See if we can get a nice camera view next time to see just how close he is to that wall. Down the front stretch and down into turns 1 and 2. Enters a little bit lower, then washes right up the track to within about a foot of the wall. That time it's not quite as close as he's been. But that's where the grip is through turns 1 and 2. 22 laps to go. Corey Hines out in front by almost 10 seconds. Over second place, Jonah Colbert. And then Jonathan Cofield runs back in third as Garrett Kinder says plenty of room. Yeah, that time Andy showed plenty of room there as he is running quite a bit off the wall from where he was just a few laps ago, when he was doing that number 5 number proud. As Corey Hines come through turns 1 and 2. Next time by, we'll have just 20 laps to go. The entire field minus Corey Hines hoping for a caution here. Corey, though, out 10 seconds in front of second place. What's 10 seconds look like, you might ask? Well, there's Corey just coming off of turn number 2 as Jonah's just entering turn number 1. So just about a straightaway separates first and second here at this 1.5 mile speedway. Matt Kleeman trying to get around Matt Telder for the 7th position. Kleeman showing a little bit more speed than Telder right now. Kinder says he saw him counter steering a little bit in the truck. Probably trying to give himself a little room to catch it if needed. And yeah, it's a good point there. As someone who knows all about counter steering, Garrett Kinder's the master of that for sure. Now, this track tends to really tighten up as the race goes on. So seeing him getting a little loose there up on that high side, that's exactly what you want to feel at a track like this. You know, loose is fast, especially at a track where you're carrying so much speed into the corner. You can really burn off that right front tire real quickly, especially running the high side. As Kleeman takes another look here. just not close enough to make that move. See Travis Bieber work around Gary Wright. Bieber was just down on pit road. So he's got a little bit of fresher tires after that incident. You see him easily able to get around Gary Wright, currently up in the 14th position. And we see the 44 of Tyler Weeks, who is a lap down, getting passed by Calvin Ruff. It's going to put a truck between Ruff and Kurtz. Back to the battle of the mats as Kleeman's going to take another look down underneath Telder. This time it looks like Kleeman's going to pull a slide job here to move himself solidly up into the 7th position. And Telder does not have an answer back, so move Kleeman up in the 7th, and he's going to, well, he's not going to have enough time, I don't think, to run down Corey Bigley, who's 5 seconds in front of Kleeman, unless the yellow was to come out. Of course, we see Kinder in the chat. I don't see Ratchet Miller, so I don't think a yellow will be coming out here in this race. Even though we did see one incident on the backstretch, not enough to bring out the yellow flag. We had 14 laps to go. Corey Hines continues to pull away from second place Jonah Cobert. The interval now is just over 11 seconds back to Jonah Cobert. And then Jonah has 2 seconds back to third place Jonathan Cofield. Although Cofield is starting to put a little dent in that interval here. Last time by, Cofield was a little bit quicker. That's the one I wanted. So you see Colbert, last 4 laps before that one was a little bit quicker by just a little bit, but that time by, Cofield was almost 3/10 quicker. We'll see what it is here at the line this time. And Colbert goes back to being about 0.05 quicker than Cofield. Speaking about being just a little bit quicker, Andy Kurtz has Corey Bigley behind, and Bigley's been a little bit quicker lap after lap than Kurtz. And in 4th place, we see Calvin Ruff starting to fight a little bit with lap traffic. That's been slowing him down, allowing Andy Kurtz to eat into that lead just a little bit as well. So lap traffic starting to become a factor here for some of these drivers, not a factor for Corey Hines. But the rest of the field starting to feel the effects of lap traffic as we have just 10 laps to go. And is Matt Telder going to be able to make it to the end? Is he saving enough fuel? I'm way off the throttle, trying to slow down as much as he can. He's got a 5-second interval over Fry Hubbard. Lifting really early. Staying out of it a long time. That'll save you quite a bit of fuel. Currently runs back into 8th place, and can he hold on to that? Try to maximize his points here tonight. Steve McDonald, again, was just down on lap 67, and he's running down the 99 of Brandon Wallace. So McDonald trying to move himself up into the 10th position. Donald not in the playoffs, but trying to maximize his positions here tonight as he gets around the 99 of Brandon Wallace and moves himself up into the top 10. And just in front of McDonald is Corey Hines. So Donald trying to, again, get that lap back the hard way. But currently just 9 trucks on the lead lap. Well, Brandon Pollock, though, coming back currently in 12th position. He was having a very poor run earlier. Trying to salvage as many points as he can here in the round of 8 to try to move on to that championship 4. And with 5 laps to go, let's give out that Cofield Tough Luck Award here tonight. And we're going to have to give that one to the 3 of Mike Kosick. Trying to get around Matt Telder and ends up making contact with Travis Bieber, sends him down into the inside there and ends his night early. So that is your Cofield Asphalt Refinishing Tough Luck Award as we see Steve McDonald going around Corey Hines. The first time Corey Hines has really been passed tonight to take over or to get himself back onto the lead lap as we see Andy Kurtz and Corey Bigley battling for the 5th position. And Bigley now moves himself up in the 5th. But Kurtz trying to fight back on the low side. Both these drivers in the playoffs trying to fight for every point they can. With just 3 laps to go. Bigley tries to drive it down across the nose of Kurtz. And some contact between Bigley and Kurtz. And that's going to put Kurtz back up into the 5th position. And Corey's going to have to try it all over again with just 2 laps to go. Here he comes back down to the bottom, catches that white line. That's going to push that truck up the track just a little bit. As these two are now getting the 2 to go signal. Bigley back down to the inside. Gets a little loose there on the low side. Catches that bump. But able to stay right up alongside. Now he's going to tuck back in behind as Corey Hines has just taken the white flag. 1 lap to go for our leader as these two, the battle for 5th continues side by side. And off of turn number 4, Kurtz has that position up on the high side as they get the white flag. As they come down into turns 1 and 2. Corey Hines is going to make his way off of turn number 4 for the final time. And Corey Hines is going to get the win here tonight at Homestead, Miami. But this battle for 5th place continues down the backstretch and into turns 3 and 4. Corey Bigley down on the low side. Trying to get back to the throttle just a little bit harder as they come off turn number 4. Down to the line, it's going to be Corey Bigley getting the 5th place here tonight. I'm sorry, 4th place here tonight over Andy Kurtz. But Corey Hines, your winner, and locking himself into the championship 4 here tonight as he makes his way down to the front stretch where he's going to celebrate his win. So a great job for Corey Hines with a commanding win over 13 seconds, almost 14 seconds over second place, Jonathan Cofield. As we take a look at our final results. And Corey Hines gets the win over Jonathan Cofield, Calvin Ruff in 3rd. Corey Bigley, Andy Kurtz, your top 5. Matt Kleeman brings it home 6th. Matt Telder, Fried Hubbard, Steve McDonald, and Jonah Cobert falls back to 10th. 11th was Brandon Wallace. Brandon Pollock back in 12th. Tyler Weeks, Travis Bieber, and Matt Knights round out your top 15 with Gary Wright 16th, Greg Froelich 17th, and Mike Bertosa back in the 18th position. 19th was Mike Kosick, and 20th was Jerry LeGrand. As we get ready to talk to our top 3. Starting with our 3rd place finisher, Calvin Ruff. Calvin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Man, great job here tonight. We know Corey Hines was the class of the field, but a great job for you coming home 3rd and showing some speed the last few weeks. Is this one of the tracks that you really just click at, or was it just a good run for you here tonight?
I love Homestead. Homestead's a fun track. Obviously, I need some work to do to catch up with Mr. Hines because me and him were in the same chat, and he was telling me his lap times as we got later in the run, and I was about 3/10 off, so he was just cooking. He was Kyle Larson it, but not riding the wall is what was crazy. So, but yeah, no, I love this track.
Yeah, that's the surprising thing. We saw a lot of drivers running the wall, a lot of drivers using the white line, and everywhere in between. Did the line change as the run went on and the sun went down, or were you just kind of sticking to the game plan?
No, just from practice, we learned the white line was the best for tire wear. Every once in a while, you could get up around the high line if somebody was trying to pass you, and you could try to defend your spot by using that high line. But the white line was the best line throughout the entire race.
Well, a great job here tonight, coming home P3. Up 10 spots from where you qualified, so a fantastic run for you here tonight. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank, any shout-outs you got to give here tonight?
Shout out to Corey Hines and Fry Hubbard. We was on the same chat tonight, just trying to strategize on team stuff. Moser Racing, they make great products. I run their R9 direct drive wheel. Love it. Husenfeld pedals, they make great pedals. And my sponsor, who I work for in real life, Best One Tire, great company to work for. Love their beliefs, love how American they are, and appreciate you, what you do, and everyone else in this league.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the 3rd place finish, and as the season winds down, I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
So that's your 3rd place finisher, Calvin Ruff. Let's bring in your 2nd place finisher, Jonathan Cofield. Jonathan, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, great job coming on P2. I know you didn't have anything there for Corey Hines, but in the back of your mind, you must have been hoping for a caution and try to at least give yourself a chance there at the end.
Oh yeah, definitely. Wanted a caution. Got kind of boring there, just kind of riding around. Lost a lot of time on my pit stall. I should have pitted when Corey and them did. I clutched it probably for 25 laps, trying to save that 1 or 2 laps of fuel to make it past lap 50, and come across the stripe and had 0.9 to go. I was like, I'll make it another lap, but I got to pit road and it started sputtering. So running 40 mile an hour down a 50 mile an hour pit road, lost a little bit of time doing that.
For sure. And fuel seemed to be quite the concern. I know a lot of people were right there on the number. As you came across the line, how much fuel did you have left in that thing?
3 laps.
3 laps. So, man, but great job coming home P2. Great playoff points night for you here tonight as you try to lock yourself into the round of 4. Before I let you go, Jonathan, anyone you want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
Oh, definitely. You for doing the broadcast, all the guys in the league. Hardline Transport Solutions for being our main sponsor, Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Intensity, Peg Leg Felts, Thunderstruck Super Series, Kinder Farm and Ranch, Kleeman for putting on this awesome series we do here. So, had a ball tonight.
Awesome, man. Well, again, good points tonight for you, trying to get everything you can here tonight. Congrats on that. And we look forward to, let's see, we move on to, I just looked at it just a few minutes ago. I should know what we're moving on to next week. It's Kentucky, isn't it?
I think so.
Kansas. Same thing.
Kansas. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, how do you like your chances next week at Kansas?
I don't know. All these mile and a halves in the final 8 and championship race at Atlanta. I guess I'm mediocre when it comes to mile and a half. So we'll try to make it to the final 4 and see if we can run with them.
Well, you got Richmond after that, nice short track. So good luck in the next in the final races here, and we look forward to talking to you soon.
Thank you, Josh. See you, bud.
It looks like Corey Hines did not make his way up to the booth here tonight. Probably had to run off to work, as that's happened before. So unfortunately not going to be able to interview the winner here tonight, but Corey Hines does lock himself into the final 4 as we get ready for another great race here at Homestead, Miami. Start up here in about, we'll say about half hour. We'll get the stream back going again for the whole heating and sheet metal truck series. Of course, I want to thank everybody here tonight in the Original Rebels League that makes this possible. Of course, as mentioned before, Kinder Farm and Ranch, Hardline Transport Solution, Peg Leg Felts, Thunder Truck Super Series, Cofield Asphalt, for the great patronage that they allow us to broadcast for you each and every week. Of course, we want to thank our great partners again, IntensityRacing.com, RaceEPI.com, and of course, the Butt Kicker. If you're looking for that extra seat of the pants feel without having a motion rig, check out thebuttkicker.com. Once again, congratulations to Corey Hines as he moves on to the final 4, and we will see you back here in just a few. And as our boy Atlee Hatman Weiss would say, over